All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say, Kol Haloyim Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakal Kwitash. All right. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. All right? We are the Hebrew Israelites. We come week in and week out to prophesy the downfall and the destruction of America, all right, which is known as Babylon the Great in the Bible, or the great daughter of Babylon, all right? And according to biblical prophecy, the great daughter of Babylon, all right, or mystery Babylon, is going to be destroyed and wiped off the face of this earth by nuclear fire in this third world war that's getting ready to pop off, man. All right, that's what America has coming. All right, nuclear fire, nuclear destruction. America is going to be wiped off the face of this earth by thermonuclear destruction, according to prophecy. That's the will of the Most High, man. All right, because America, all right, is the most vile, the most profane, all right, the most wicked and the most abominable empire to ever exist in history. And that's why it's going to be wiped off the face of this earth, man. All right, by thermonuclear destruction, and that's getting ready to take place, man. Very, very soon, man. All right, those nuclear missiles are going to shoot off very soon, man. But we know before that takes place, all right, before we know that before America's destruction, what has to take place is the mark of the beast, man. All right, the mark of the beast being the RFID micro C-hip, man. All right, the digital chocolate C-hip that the elites want to implant under your skin. All right, that's also biblical prophecy. That has to take place first, all right, before America's destruction, before this whole earth gets devoured, all right, by the fire of the Lord's jealousy, man. Like it's written in Zephaniah, the 3rd chapter, man. All right, but anyway, what I really want to get into, man, is how these all these nations, all right, who are not Israelites, all right, you know, the Edomites, all right, the Canaanites, the Ethiopians, the Ammonites, the Moabites, all right, the Japhetic nations, Gomer, all right, every other nation, all right, that are not Israelites are going into captivity, man. Every single one of them, man. All right, because all these other nations are our enemies, man. All right, and all throughout the course of history, all these other nations had us in captivity, man. All right, they spoiled us. All right, till this day, they spoil us, man. All right, because all these nations, they come together, all right, to keep the true Israelites, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, at the bottom of society, man. They all make a pact together. They all come together, man. All right, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the Ishmaelites, all right, the Moabites, the Ammonites, they all come together. You read about that in Psalms, the 83rd chapter, how all these nations, they come together. They create a crafty council, a sneaky council to keep the Israelites no more in remembrance, the true Israelites, man. All right, and that's exactly what happened, man. All right, that's why you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, you don't know who you are anymore. You don't know that you're the real Jews, the true Israelites that the Bible speaks of, man. You know? Because you have been destroyed, man. All right? A crafty council has come against you, man. You understand? All right? So let's get into it, how all these other nations, all right? Starting with Esau, Edom. He's the main nation. He's our number one enemy. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. He's the number one enemy to you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, man. All right, and you can read about that in Psalm the 83rd chapter. We're gonna get there, man. All right, but let's start off with Revelation, man. All right, Revelation 13 and 10. All right, let's get a basic scripture real quick. All right, so this is Revelation, all right, 13, verse 10. All right, He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. That's right. Those who lead into captivity shall go into captivity, man. And who led you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans into captivity, man? Many nations have, all right? But who's the main nation? We're going to get there in a second, all right? Psalms, the 83rd chapter. Who's the main nation that has destroyed us all throughout history? Going all the way back to the Greeks and then the Romans, all right? And now the revival of the Roman Empire was started in during the time of the Renaissance era, man. All right, which is now America, man. All right, Esau Edom, the so-called white man. He's your number one enemy, man. He's the main one that led you into captivity, man. All right. So this is what the scriptures say. All right, Revelation 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Yeah. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. And he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. All right. And what was Esau's blessing? All right. What was the so-called white man's blessing? His blessing was the sword. All right. To bring destruction upon this earth. That was the white man's blessing. When you read Genesis, the 27th chapter. All right, matter of fact, let's get there. Let's go there. All right, because that was Esau's blessing. That was the blessing, all right, that Isaac gave to Esau, man. All right, so let's get it. Let's start off with Genesis 27. And I start at 37, all right, but the point is in 40, all right. So it says, Genesis 27 and 37, and Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and with wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? Yeah, because he was given, he gave Jacob a blessing, man. All right, so let's keep reading. All right, so it says, verse 38, and Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. That's right. So Esau's blessing was the fatness of the earth. Esau Edom being the so-called white man. All right. His blessing was the fatness of this earth, man. All right. To have complete control and power over this whole planet earth. And that's exactly what you see now. All right. Esau Edom, the so-called white man, starting with the elite banking families. All right. They're the ones that have complete control and power over this entire earth, man. You see, starting with the elite banking families, they rule this. They rule this earth, man. Right? They have power over this earth right now. Esau Edom, the so-called white man. All right, they're the one, the so-called white race, starting with the elite banking families. They rule this earth right now. All right, but the Lord is getting ready to bring them down. All right, but anyway, let's get to the point. All right, it says, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew and of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shalt thou live. All right, so by the sword, all right, meaning by destruction, is how Esau Edom is going to live. All right, Esau Edom, the so-called white man. And that's all the white man does. Under his rulership, nothing but destruction, all right, is taking place on this earth. That's all he knows is destruction. Destruction and hell, man. All right, Esau Edom, all he knows how to do is rule in wickedness by bringing hell and destruction upon this earth. Look at this earth, man. There's nothing but wars all throughout history under his rulership, man. Underneath the so-called white man's rulership, all he has done is create wars, all right, cause nothing but destruction on this earth, all right, with witchcraft, with his witchcraft and deceit, all right, you know, that's all he has done, man. That's all he knows. All right, because that was his blessing, the sword, to bring destruction upon this earth. All right. Matter of fact, let's get that in Revelation 6, man. All right, talking about the red horse, because Esau represents the red horse that's written about in Revelation 6, man. All right, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, so let's get it. So it says, Revelation 6:3, and when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, come and see, and there went out another horse that was red. All right, that horse that is red, all right, represents Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, it says, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. And that's all Esau, Edom has done, the so-called white man. All right, he has taken peace from this earth, man. All he does is create wars, all right, and cause destruction upon this earth. All right, you so-called Negroes and you Latinos, you Native Americans, y'all live in hell underneath his rulership, man. You eat nothing but GMO foods, all right, drink poisonous water, all right. The whole education system is messed up. You're breathing in aluminum, all right, because of these chemtrails. All right, nothing but destruction and wickedness, all right, underneath Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. You understand? All right. So it says, and there went out another horse that was red, which represents Esau. All right. And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Yeah, and that's exactly what they do. All right, everyone on this earth, they kill one another. All right, because that's the tension that Esau, Edom creates. All right, through his witchcraft, through his deceit, man. All right, to bring these nations against one another, man. All right. When you read a book called Satan's Angels Exposed, all right, by Salem Kerbin, all right, there's something that's known as the Albert Pike and Mazzini blueprint, all right, or the Albert Pike and Mazzini plan, all right, and the plan was to create 3 world wars, all right, to bring forth the new world order, all right. You have World War I, World War II, all right, and the 3rd World War, all right, was going to be created by bringing controversy, all right, between the Muslim world, all right, and the Judaism world. And that's exactly what you see right now. All right, and then that's how all the rest of the world is going to be brought into this final conflict. All right, which is World War III, because World War III is going to be the war to end all wars. That's going to be the last war before Yahushua returns, man. All right, there's not going to be no more wars on earth after World War III, man. All right, after the Israelites return back to the Holy Land, after the true Israelites return back to the Holy Land, all right, which is the people on this sign, the 12 tribes of Israel, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, all right, you are the true Israelites that the Bible speaks of, you understand, all right, whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, all right, and really I'm talking to the elect of y'all, because I know the elect of y'all are going to hear this word and take heed unto it. You're going to understand, all right, because that's the spirit, all right, that's the opening up of your mind that the Most High had put on you. That's why you're the elect. Only the elect is going to come back and understand and take heed, all right, and be brought into this fold, all right, the tabernacle of David, all right, also known as the elect, the house of David, all right, you understand, all right, so let's read that one more time. Right? It says, Revelation 6:4, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. And who does that? Who has taken peace from this earth? Under whose rulership has there been no peace on this earth ever? All right? Under Esau, Edom's rulership. All right? It says, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Yeah, Esau, Edom was given a great sword, man. All right, that was his blessing, to take peace from this earth, to cause nothing but destruction. All right, to bring hell upon this earth. All right, in many ways he has brought hell upon this earth, through war, through destruction. All right, through the education system. All right, the education system is controlled by Freemasons, man. The education system is controlled by wizards and sorcerers and warlocks, man. They're controlled by Freemasons, man. Which that's what Freemasonry is. It's nothing but sorcery and wizardry, man. And witchcraft, man. And that's who controls the education system. All right, that's who also controls the medical field. All right, the medical industry. All right, and also the food industry. All right, that's why you're fed nothing but poison. All right, so what? You could go to the hospital, man. So you could get sick and go to the hospital, and now you need all this medication. All right, you have all types of sicknesses within your body. Now you have cancer. Now you got to take medicine, drink pills, and all that, man. That's the whole point of the food industry, to poison you. So now you need medication, right? So you're constantly feeding them money, man. All right, making them rich. All right, that's how they get rich, through the food industry and the medical industry, man. All right, they go hand in hand. All right, when you read a book called Murder by Injection, all right, written by Eustace Mullins, all right, it talks about all the witchcraft that goes on and all the unethical practices that go on in the medical field, man, and the food industry, man. All right, they were set up, man. All right, by the Rockefellers, man. All right, to bring cancer upon this earth, you know. So now you're constantly sick, and it's also when you eat these garbage foods, because that's what these garbage foods do, man. Like these you know, all this junk food, man. Pastries, you know, muffins and brownies and cookies and, you know, all this wicked ass food you people eat, man. All right, they destroy you, man. All right, they destroy your spirit. They lower your spirit, man. So now you're not in good spirits. It messes with your mental, your mind. All right, when you eat all this garbage food, man, because that's what this garbage food was created for. All right, to bring down your spirit, to give you a low spirit, you know. All right, but anyway, let's get back into Revelation 13. All right. All right, Revelation 13 and 10. All right, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. And the main nation, all right, that led us into captivity is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, did he not bring you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans over here on slave ships, man? All right, and still to this day, we're underneath his hand, man. He controls and rules this society, man. All right, we still haven't been let go. All right, we're bound by social security number. All right, your birth certificate, your license, a passport. You can't leave America unless you have a passport, man. He controls your every move, man. All right, he controls you, man. All right, he tries to he's enslaving you, man. You know. All right. It says he that leadeth, and not in just this time. Esau, Edom had us in captivity during the time of the Roman Empire. All right, during the time of the Greek Empire. All right, they had you Israelites, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans in hardcore slavery, especially the Greeks, man. All right, because the Greeks were Edomites, and so were the Romans. All right, the Romans were Greeks. That's why they adopted all their gods. All right, they put them under names. All right, but Roman gods are nothing but Greek gods. All right, Roman mythology is nothing but Greek mythology, man. All right. So during the time of the Greeks, all right, the Edomites, boy, they had you Israelites all torn up, man. All torn up, man. Especially during the time of Antiochus Epiphanes, man. All right? That Hellenization period, man. You understand? All right? So it says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Yes, so since he led us into captivity, it's now his turn to go into captivity, all right? The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. All right, that's what Luke the 16th chapter is talking about, man. All right, when you read the parable about the rich man and Lazarus, right? The rich man represented Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, all right? And Lazarus, the poor man, all right, he represented you Israelites, all right? Because right now, you Israelites, you're the poor man. You're at the bottom, all right? But it's going to be a complete role reversal. You understand? Esau, Edom is getting ready to be dropped or brought down from the rulership and the power of this planet Earth. And he's going to be made a slave. He's going into chains. He's going into shackles. You understand? And the Israelites, all right, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, you're going to be brought on high once again. You are going to be made rulers and gods and judges of this planet Earth once again. And that's when Yahushua returns, all right? And that's starting with the elect, the 1/3, all right? The 1/3 of you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, man, all right? So it says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, and he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And we already went over that Esau Edom's blessing was the sword, man. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. So since we were killed with the sword, now it's his turn to be killed with the sword, man. All right? Let's keep reading, all right? Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. All right, the saints are the Israelites. All right, this is what they're patiently waiting for. The elect of the Israelites are patiently waiting for the Lord to return to bring this man down and to put him in the chains and shackles, man. All right, you understand? So let's read that one more time. It says, Revelation 13:10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. This is what the saints is patiently waiting for, man. Right? To put Esau, Edom, and all these other nations into captivity, man. All right? Because all these other nations had their hand in the cookie jar. All right? Not just Esau, Edom, a so-called white man, but all these nations had their hand in the cookie jar when it comes to our slavery here in America, man. All right? In the transatlantic slave trade, all right? It was the so-called Africans, all right, the Hamites, all right? It was the so-called Africans and the so-called Arabs, all right, that sold us unto the white man, all right? That brought us and that brought us over here to the Americas. And it was the so-called Jews in the land of Israel today that funded the slave ships, man, that brought us over here to the America during the time of the transatlantic slave trade, all right? All right, they funded the slave ships, all right, through the company known as the East Dutch Indian Company, all right, or the East Indian Dutch Company, and the West Indian Dutch Company. Look it up, all right. That's the company that funded the slave ships, all right, and they were funded by the so-called small hatters over there, man, in the land of Israel today. Those are your number one. That's the number one enemy, man. All right, yeah, Esau, Edom, all right, as a whole is your number one enemy, all right, but the least of the flock, which is the Amalekites, all right, which is the people over there in the land of Israel, that's your number one enemy. That's the number one enemy. That's the top tribe of the number one enemy, man, is Amalek, man, all right, the least of the flock, the people over there in the land of Israel. They're walking around pretending to be you, claiming to be the true people of the Most High. All right, when they're really the devil, all right? Walking around pretending to be you, man. They're pretending to be this people on this sign right here. The 12 tribes of Israel, man. When they're really the devil, man. And they're getting ready to be wiped off the face of the earth, man. All right? The land of Israel is getting ready to be nuked. Because that land has to be cleansed, man. All right, because that land is greatly defiled. So it has to be cleansed before the true Israelites step forth in that land. All right, because when the true Israelites, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, starting with the elect of y'all, all right, before y'all step in that land, all right, you're going to be given a new body, a perfect body that's never going to sin ever again. And when you're given that new body, you're not going to step in a land that's defiled. That land has to be cleansed as well. You understand? All right? Because that land is greatly defiled. It is grossly defiled. All right? Under Esau, Edom, man. He has grossly defiled that land, man. All right? What's one of the laws? Not to be a Mo, not to be a Skittle, right? But the largest pride parade in the entire world takes place in the Holy Land. All right? But yet, all right, they're supposed to be the people of the Most High, right? Which we know they're not. They're the damn devil. The word devil means deceiver. They have deceived this whole world into thinking that they're the real Israelites that the Bible speaks of, man. That they're the real ones, man. And they're not. All right? So now, let's get Psalms. Matter of fact, let's read this one more time, all right? Let's get Revelation 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. All right, so this is what the saints are patiently waiting for, man. All right, to put all our enemies into captivity, man. All right, y'all gotta go into captivity, man. All right, y'all gotta go into slavery. Y'all had us in slavery, so it's now y'all turn to go into slavery, man. It's time for y'all go into shackles, ball and chain. All right, to get shoved in chicken coops, man. All right, you understand? All right, matter of fact, let's get that in Psalms 149. All right, let's get that in Psalms 149. Which I think that's the last chapter of Psalms too, if I'm not mistaken. Or it might be the second to last. All right. Yeah, it is the last. All right, but let's get Psalms 149 and 5. All right, I'll start at 5. All right, but the point is going to read out. All right, Psalms 149 and 5. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Yeah, because in the kingdom of heaven, all right, we're gonna sing aloud, man. We're gonna be joyful, man. We're going to be happy as hell in the kingdom of heaven, man. You understand? All right? We're going to be joyful as hell, man. All right? We're going to be the most happiest people on the planet Earth, man. And the type of joy we're going to feel, right? The type of happiness we're going to feel is something that our minds can't even fathom, bro. All right? We're not going to feel no type of pain ever again. Ever. No emotional pain, no mental pain, no physical pain. All right, we're gonna have a different type of joy, a joy that is unheard of. You understand? A joy that you can even wrap your mind around, man. A type of joy that you can't even fathom. All right, and that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. That's what we're waiting for. All right, and Lord willing, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Raptazah, I am of the elect, man. I get to feel that pain. That joy, man. That great joy. All right. It says, let the saints are the Israelites. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand. Yeah, in the kingdom we're gonna have swords, man. All right, we're gonna have swords in the kingdom of heaven. Why? Let's keep reading. All right. All right. Verse 6, let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand to execute vengeance upon the heathen. Yeah, to execute vengeance upon the heathen. All right, vengeance is payback. All right, we're going to pay back you heathen. All right, the heathen meaning the other nations, the people who are not Israelites. All right, we're going to pay back the heathen. All right, for everything that they have done to us all throughout the course of history, since the beginning of time. All right, going back all the way to the garden. All right, during the time of Adam and Eve. Because if it wasn't for Esau, we wouldn't have fell. We wouldn't have known sin. All right, so because of him, all right, you know, you got to pay for that, Esau. You know, back then when they were known as the sons of the wicked, all right, before Edomites were known as Edomites, they were known as the sons of the wicked, man. You know? All right, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, all right, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. Yeah, so all the kings of this world, all right, all the kings and people that sit in high places of these nations, all the presidents and prime ministers and all the kings of each nation, all right, they're going to be bound with fetters of iron. They're going in with chains, man. All right, we're reading it right now. All right, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains. All right, we're going to bind the kings of this earth with chains, man. All right, we're going to bind, all right, the kings of this earth with chains, all right, and their nobles with fetters of iron. So all the people that sit in high places on this earth, starting with the elite banking families, all right, you Rothschilds, you Rockefellers, you DuPonts, all right, you Astors, all right, the Collins family, the Kennedy family, all right, starting with all the elite banking families, all right, the kings of this earth, all right, and the kings of all these different nations, like you presidents, all right, you prime ministers, you rulers of these different nations, you are going to be bound in chains and fetters of iron, all right, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. Woo! All right, this honor have all his saints. Praise ye Yahweh. All right, so this is an honor that we're going to have, man. All right, it's going to be an honor to carry out the judgment that is written, all right, for you other nations. All right, and when you read Amos, the first chapter, it goes into that, man. All right, it goes into the judgment of all you nations that have came against the nation of Israel, the Negro, Latino, Native American men. All right, let's read that one more time. All right, it says Psalms 149 and 5. Let the saints, all right, the saints are the Israelites. Let's prove that real quick. All right, let's get Psalms 1, let's get the book of Psalms, the 50th chapter. All right. All right, Psalms 50 and 5. All right, Psalms 50 and 5. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. All right, so the Lord said, gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. Who is that? There's only one people, one race of people, one nation, all right, that have made a covenant with the Most High by sacrifice, and that those are the Israelites. Right? All right, so let's read that again. All right, gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice, which are the Israelites, man. All right, So when you read Psalms 149 and 5, it says, let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. And that's talking about the kingdom of heaven, man. All right, we're not going to have to wake up in our beds like, oh man, I got to go to work. No, we're going to be rulers and kings on this planet Earth. We're going to be at complete rest. All right, no type of ailments, no type of sickness, no type of worries ever again. All right, because we're going to be immortal. All right, we're going to be made perfect. The Lord is going to program our minds, our bodies, our spirits. All right, from going off, man. All right, from not sinning ever again. We're going to be made perfect in the kingdom of heaven. All right, starting with the elect, the tabernacle of David. All right, you understand? So it says, verse 6, let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. Dishonor have all his saints. Praise ye Yahweh. All right, so praise Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, that this is what we're going to do, man. All right, Lord willing, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Raptazah. All right, I am of the elect. All right, and I get to carry out this judgment, man. All right, because we are made judges, rulers, man. All right, the Lord said, know ye not that ye shall sit on the throne, all right, judging the 12 tribes of the kingdom of Israel, you know, and we're going to judge these other nations, man. We're going to carry out the judgment of these other nations as we're reading right now, man. All right, so now let's get Jeremiah. All right, let's get the book of Jeremiah. All right, the 30th chapter. Let's grab that, man. All right, Jeremiah 30 and 16. All right, it says, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured. All right, so the Lord is talking to the Israelites, man. All right, through Jeremiah, man. All right, all they that have devoured us, all right, which is all these other nations on this earth, every nation, all right, that are not Israelites, you Moabites, you Ammonites, you Canaanites, all right, you Mizmarites, you Cushites, you Edomites, all right, you Ishmaelites, you Elamites, all right, you are all our enemies. You have all devoured us throughout the course of history, man. Until this day, man. You all hate us, man. You all hate us, man. You love us and you hate us at the same time, man. All right? Because you want to be, you hate us because you ain't us. But you want to be us. All right? All right? Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured. Yeah. All you other nations that have oppressed us and devoured us, spoiled us, destroyed us as a people. That's why we don't know who we are. Because we've been destroyed as a people. All right, because of these other nations. All right, when you read Psalms the 83rd chapter, it talks about all the enemies of the nation of Israel and how all the nation of Israel's enemies come together, all right, to keep them low, man. That the name of Israel be no more in remembrance, all right. That the Israelites will be a nation no more, man. All right, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, all right, we have risen up again, man. All right, the Lord rose up his prophets to reel in the elect, all right, to wake up the elect, all right. And the elites, they're scared, man. They're very scared, all right, because they see the prophets out here on the highways and hedges. They're very scared, man, because now they know that their time is short. Like when you read Revelation 12:12. All right? The devil, which is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, he knows that his time is short. And that's why he's getting ready to bring great wrath. All right? And that great wrath is known as the time of Jacob's trouble, man. All right? He's getting ready to bring great hell upon you Negroes, you Latinos, and you Native Americans, man. Because he knows that his time is short. Because he sees the prophets out here. His time is short, meaning his rulership of the planet Earth is getting ready to come to an end. And he's trying to stop, all right, the Lord's plan, all right? He's trying to stop, all right, the Israelites from coming back into power, man. And that's why he's getting ready, all right, to bring great wrath, man. And that great wrath is getting ready to take place, man. All right? Matter of fact, let's get that in Revelation 12. All right, Revelation 12. All right, let's grab that real quick. All right, Revelation 12:12. All right, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth. Yeah, woe. The word woe means destruction. Destruction to the inhabitants of the earth, because that's what's getting ready to come. Destruction. Great destruction is getting ready to come upon this earth, bro. See, you people don't know, man. All right, because you're not in the loop. All right, you haven't been woken up by Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. You're still asleep. You're still in gross darkness. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's happening. You don't know what's taking place. You don't know what time you're living in. Because you in that gross darkness. Only the elect know what's happening, man. You know? All right? So it says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth. All right? And let me let this pass real quick. All right? So it says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, all right, is come down upon you. The devil was talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, he's getting ready to bring destruction upon this earth. All right, by his witchcraft, right, by his sorcery, all right, through World War III. All right, so it says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he has but a short time. All right, yeah, Esau, Edom knows that his rulership of this planet Earth is coming to an end. He knows that his time is very nigh, that he's getting ready to be brought down. All right, and how is he being brought down? Because he's being exposed. All right, he's being exposed of who he really is, man. All right, he's being exposed that he's the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. All right, how's he being exposed? Who's exposing him? All right, the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord. All right, through this word. All right, because the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that the Lord has given us. All right, the prophets of the Lord. All right, we know who this damn devil is now, man. Which is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and we're exposing him, man. All right, he's being brought down. We're letting you know, all right, that he's the devil, man. All right. We're letting you Negroes, you Latinos, and Native Americans, we're letting you know that he's the devil that the Bible speaks of. And all these other nations too, all right, are realizing that he's the devil too, man. All right, because these other nations, they hate Esau, Edom as well. All right, it tells you that in the book of Obadiah, man. All right. You know? So now let's go back into Jeremiah, all right, 30 and 16. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy Excuse me, read that again. Jeremiah 30 and 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured. All right. So all these other nations, all right, especially Esau, Edom, our number one enemy, is going to be devoured if they devour us. All right. You have to reap what you sow, man. And you have sowed nothing but destruction and wickedness upon this earth, Esau. All right. You have sowed nothing but wickedness and destruction. So therefore, that has to come upon you. All right. So it says, therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity. Woo! So the Lord said, all of our adversaries, all right? The word adversary is another word for enemy. So the Lord said, all of our adversaries, all of our enemies shall go into captivity, every one of them. All right? Every one of the enemies of the people on this sign right here, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, all right? They're going into captivity, man. All right? So it says, let's read that again. Jeremiah 30 and 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. That's right. So all they that spoiled us is going to be a spoil. And all they that have preyed upon us are going to be preyed upon, man. All right? The Lord said he's going to turn his fishers, all right? Meaning his prophets, all right? Because that's what a prophet does. A prophet is a fisher, all right? All right, who are we fishing for? We're fishing the elect. We're reeling in the elect, all right? You understand? But the fishers are going to be turned into hunters, man. All right? Like the scriptures say. And what's that? Jeremiah 16 and 16, if I'm not mistaken. All right? The fishers are going to turn into hunters. We're going to hunt them out of their nuclear bunkers. You understand? And also, you know, probably during the time of Jacob's trouble, you know, please excuse me because as you see in the wind blew over my tripod, all right? So I'm just, you know, all right? So like I was saying, man, all right? Because the fishers are going to turn into hunters, man, all right? We're going to hunt them out of their bunkers, all right? And when the Lord gives us spiritual power, all right, we're going to hunt them, man, all right? And then the scriptures say, then shall they know who are my chosen, right? Because when all hell breaks loose out here in America, all right, when there's great death, all right, when there's great destruction, all right, the great pain, the great misery and mourning, all right, falls upon America, the Lord is going to give his elect men spiritual powers, man, to heal, to get away from all this hell and destruction, all right, and to put Esau to flight, man, you know? And we're going to hunt them out of their nuclear bunkers. When we fall back down from those chariots, we're going to see where they are at, all right, in their bunkers, man. All right, and we're going to pull them out of their bunkers, and they're going into chains, man. They're going into shackles, all right. And the reason why they're going to be in their nuclear bunkers, all right, because the Lord kept them alive because they're going to be our first set of slaves when we come back down from those chariots, man. The chariots being the so-called UFOs, man. All right, what this world calls a UFO, all right, but they're known as chariots in the Bible. They're known as pillars of fire in the Bible. They're known as horses and horsemen in the Bible. They're also known as clouds in the Bible, what this world calls a UFO, all right, because that's how the elect is going to be saved. Now it wants to get windy. All right, let me fix this real quick. As you see, it's swinging back and forth. All right. Like I was saying, all right, elect. because my tripod fell over once again. All right, so I kind of forgot what I was talking about, but I'll read this again. All right, what I was saying. All right, but I'll read this again. This is Jeremiah 30:16. All right, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity. All right, all of our enemies, all of the enemies of the nation of Israel are going into captivity, man. All right, we're reading it right here in the kingdom of heaven. All right, all you other nations, all right, are going to be below the Israelites. All right, the Israelites are going to rule this planet Earth with great power, man, in righteousness. And all you other nations are going to be beneath our feet. You're going to be our slaves and our subjects. All right? And you're going to live under our law, man. All right? Just like we live under this, this wicked ass law. We go by the, we keep the laws and commandments to the best of ability. All right? But here in America, who creates all the laws, man? All right? On this earth, man. All right? Edom, so-called white man. But when Yahushua comes back, the Lord's law is going to reign, man. All right? The law is forever, man. All right? Unlike you wacky-tacky Christians believe, man, you think the law is done away with. You think the Lord did away with his own righteousness. The law endureth forever, just like the scriptures say, man. All right? Y'all wacky-tacky Christians think the law is done away with, when the law is going to be enforced in the kingdom of heaven. The law is what we're going to keep perfectly in the kingdom of heaven, the Israelites. All right? So, now let me get, because I kind of forgot what I was saying, man, because I had to fix the tripod because it fell for the second time. All right, but let me get Isaiah. All right, let's get Isaiah. All right, Isaiah 14. All right, which is talking about America being destroyed. But at the beginning of it, all right, it goes into how all these other nations, all right, are going to be our slaves, man. All right, all of our oppressors, man. All right. So it says Isaiah, all right, 14:1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob. Yeah, Jacob represents who? Jacob represents the nation of Israel. All right, because the nation of Israel comes out of the loins of who? All right, Jacob. All right. The promise went from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And out of Jacob's loins comes the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. The people on this sign right here. You Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans. So the Lord said he will have mercy on Jacob. Not mercy on the whole world. Not mercy on every nation of the earth. He said he's going to have mercy on Jacob. All right? For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. Yeah, the Lord chose Israel, man. All right, to be his people. He didn't choose no other nation to be his people, man. All right, do y'all even know what that means? Do you understand what that means? All right, that the Lord chose Israel, man. All right, why does the Lord have a chosen people? What does that mean? What's the purpose of having a chosen people? Why does the Most High have a chosen people? What does that mean? All right, that means that's who the Lord chose to give salvation unto, man. Salvation is only for one people. It's not for every nation, man. All right. Isaiah 14:1, and the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. That hasn't happened yet. This is a future prophecy. All right, the nation of Israel is not in their own land. The nation of Israel is scattered right now, all throughout the four corners of the earth. The Israelites are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. You got Israelites in Japan, Israelites in China, Israelites in Australia, Israelites in New Zealand, Israelites in the Philippines, Israelites in France, Germany, Spain, Portugal, Israelites in Greenland, Iceland, all right, Cyprus, all right, you got Israelites in Nepal, all right, you got Israelites everywhere, man, under every nation. That was one of the curses that the Lord put upon his people to scatter them, to make them weak as a people. But the Lord is getting ready, all right, to gather his people once again, man, all right, because they have fulfilled their punishment, man. And their punishment is getting ready to be fulfilled, man, all right. So it says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them. Yeah, the strangers are the Israelite foreigners, man. All right, these strangers here are not talking about the other nations. Because I know you got other Israelite camps that tell you that these strangers in this verse is talking about the other nations. It's not talking about the other nations. It's talking about the Israelite foreigners, man. All right. It says, and the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. All right. And the people shall take them. What people? We're going to take the other nations. All right. It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. Yeah, so we're going to possess the other nations. All right, the word possess means to own. We're going to own these other nations. All right, we're going to own them for servants. All right, meaning their men are going to be our servants and their women are going to be our handmaids. All right. Just like we were their servants, now they're going to be our servants. But let's continue reading. But let's start at the top again. All right. Isaiah 14:1. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids. We're going to possess them for servants and handmaids. All right? And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. All right, so we're going to take them captives, whose captives they were. All right, we were their captives, and now we're going to take them captives, man. All right. All right. It says, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Woo-hoo-hoo. All right, we're going to rule over our oppressors, man. All right, those who have oppressed us. Who's the main enemy? All right, who's the main one that oppressed you Negroes, you Latinos, and you Native Americans? All right, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, he has oppressed y'all. All right, but now we're going to oppress them. They're going to be our slaves, our captives. All right, when Yahweh Shai comes back in the Holy Land, when the Lord drops us in the Holy Land. Because they're going to build up the kingdom of heaven. All right, they're gonna be our slaves, building up the kingdom of heaven, man. All right, rebuilding this earth back up. All right, let's read that one more time. Isaiah 14:2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. That's right, we're going to rule over our oppressors, man. All right, we're not going to be oppressed anymore. We're going to do the oppressing. We're going to rule over them, man, because they have ruled over us, man. You understand? All right, now let's get the book of Psalms. All right, let's get the book of Psalms. second chapter. All right. I started at verse 7. All right. Psalms 2 and 7. All right. It says, I will declare the decree. The Lord has said unto me, thou art my son. This day have I begotten. Talking about Yahushua. All right. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thy inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Yeah, because in the kingdom of heaven, all right, when Yahushua, all right, when the Lord sends Yahushua back, all right, we're gonna possess, all right, the heathen. We're gonna possess this earth. First and foremost, this earth is Yahushua's, all right. Yahushua is getting ready to come back and take what is his, man. This earth is Yahushua. He's coming back to take this planet Earth again and to rule on this earth again, man. Right? But the elect, the 1/3, the tabernacle of David, is going to rule and be shared heirs with Yahushua. All right, Yahushua is going to share his throne, all right, with the elect, man, and we're going to rule with him. All right, so we're going to rule over these other nations, and we're going to rule this planet Earth. This earth is going to be ours, man. All right, first and foremost, it's Yahushua, so this is his kingdom, and he's just going to share it with us, man. You understand? All right, and Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua Ratazah, I am of that number. I am of the elect. All right, you understand? So it says, Psalms 2 and 8, ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thy inheritance. Yeah, the heathen is going to be given unto us. All right, we're going to possess them. We're going to own the heathen. All right, the other nations. All right, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Yeah, we're going to rule all this earth, man. All right, the Lord is going to make Israel kings and gods and rulers, all right, and powers on this planet Earth once again. All right, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans. All right, once again, man. All right, you know, it says, thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them to pieces like a potter's vessel. Yeah, so we're going to rule over this. We're going to rule over these other nations with a rod of iron. With very great power, are we going to rule this planet Earth? Are we going to rule the other nations, man? They're going to be our subjects, our slaves. You understand? With a rod of iron, are we going to rule over them? And we're going to break them into pieces, man. Just like they broke us into pieces. They're getting broken into pieces. They have to go into hardcore slavery. They have to go into shackles, into chains, ball and chain. You understand? All right? So it says, thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. You see? And thou shalt dash them into pieces like a potter's vessel. So we're going to dash the other nations into pieces, man. All right, we're going to rule over them with a rod of iron, man. All right, that's also written in Psalms, Revelation, the 2nd chapter. All right, matter of fact, let's grab that as well. All right. All right, let's get that. All right, Revelation 2. All right, Revelation 2, and I start at 25. All right, Revelation 2 and 25, and these are the words of Yahushua. These are the words of the Messiah. This is what he told us. This is what he told the elect. You understand? All right. I'll start at verse 25. All right. All right. Revelation 2 and 25. But that which ye have already hold fast till I come, which is this truth. All right. The word fast is a old English word for tight. Hold fast, hold tight this word, this truth, and don't let it go. Hold it till Yahushua come back. All right, the scripture says, those who endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. All right, you got to endure unto the end, and you got to pray for that spirit, man. Pray that you endure unto the end. All right, Isarnia, all right? La Imawadka, all right? Laquatazah, man. That's a prayer that you endure unto the end, man. All right? Izarnia, La Imawadka, Laquatazah, all right? That you endure unto the end, man. All right? You know? All right? But that which ye have already hold fast till I come. Yeah, hold this word, hold this truth, don't let it go. All right, those who endure to the end, the same shall be saved, man. All right, occupy till I come. All right, to the best of your ability, man. You understand? All right, try hard, man. All right. Let's keep reading verse 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. Yeah, we're going to have power over the nations, man. We're going to rule this planet Earth. We're going to rule over these other nations, man. All right? Verse 27, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. Again, we're going to rule these other nations with a rod of iron, with great power, with great rigor, all right? With extreme power and rulership, man. All right? All right? The great power, a great force, we're going to rule these other nations, man. All right? Because that force, that power, all right, is coming from on high, man. Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, all right? You understand? All right? It says, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, all right? Even as I received of my Father. Yeah, all right? So these other nations, they're going to be broken into shivers, man. We're going to rule over them with a rod of iron. They're going to be broken into pieces, man. You understand? All right? The Lord said, with thee will I break in pieces the nations. Matter of fact, all right, that's the first avenue. Okay, all right, let's get that. Let's get that real quick. All right, Jeremiah 51 and 20. All right, let's get that. Jeremiah 51 and 20. Let's grab that real quick. All right. Jeremiah 51 and 20. Let's start at verse 19. All right, Jeremiah 51 and 19. The portion of Jacob is not like them. He is the former of all things. That's right. The portion of Jacob is not like them, man. All right, we're not like no other people, man. You Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, all right, we have a different spirit compared to all these other nations. Our spirit is not like these other nations. We have a greater spirit, man. We are the greatest people on this planet Earth, man. All right? Who are the best basketball players? Who are the best soccer players? Who are the best football players? All right? Who are the best at everything? Who are the best dancers? All right? Who are the best looking men and women? Who create the best looking babies? All right? The Israelite men, you Negro, Latino, Native Americans, man. All right? We're the best at everything. All right? The Lord said that ye are the salt of the earth, meaning we carry all the flavor, man. All right? Nobody got flavor like us, man. Can't nobody move and talk and walk like us, man. You know? Everything we do, everything we put our hand in, we dominate, man. Like I said, who are the best football players? Who are the best basketball players? Who are the best dancers? The best soccer players? All right, the best fighters in the UFC, the best boxers. You know? You Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, man. All right? Well, nobody got a spirit like us. All right? All right, Jeremiah 51 and 19. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things. Yeah, everything comes from us, man. We are the former of all things, man. All right? There's nothing new under the sun. All right? And Israel is the Jeremiah 51 and 20, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. That's right. All right, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, all right, you Israelites, the Lord, we are the Lord's battle axe. We are his weapons of war, all right, because in these last days when he puts the spirit upon us, right, he gives us that spiritual power, all right, we're going to be like weapons of war, all right, our own bodies are going to be weapons, man. We're not going to need no weapons, like physical, like guns and nothing like that, man. We're going to be able to eradicate Esau, put Esau to flight and all these other nations to flight during the time of Jacob's trouble. You know, when all hell breaks loose out here in America, you know. All right. It says, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. All right. And what did the Lord say? That he was going to use us to destroy Edom, the so-called white man. All right, matter of fact, let's grab that real quick. What's that, Ezekiel 35 or Isaiah 35? All right, let me grab that real quick. All right. But first, let me grab Isaiah 41 and 15. It says, behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. So that's what the Lord is getting ready to make his people. All right, he's going to turn his people, all right, into a sharp instrument, man, with sharp teeth, man. All right, with threshing teeth. All right, it says right here, behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. Thou shalt thresh the mountains. All right, the mountains represents the other nations. All right, we're going to thresh the mountains, man. We're going to destroy these other nations, man. All right, it says, thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small, and shall make the hills as chaff. All right, thou shalt fan them, and the wind shall carry them away, and the whirlwind shall scatter them, and thou shalt rejoice in the Lord, and shall glory in the Holy One of Israel. That's right. So the Lord is getting ready to set our people on high. The Lord is getting ready to make us a sharp new instrument. The Lord is getting ready to make us hunters, man. We're going to hunt and rule these other nations, man. All right? So you people don't know, man. All right? Let's read that in Jeremiah 51 and 20 once again. All right? Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. Woo-hoo-hoo. But y'all think the Lord loves everybody, right? Y'all think the Lord loves everybody, right? No, the Lord don't love everybody, man. The Lord said, with thee will I break in pieces the nations, man. The Lord is getting ready to break these nations in pieces, man. All right? Come on, man. All right, now let me get that verse in I think it's Ezekiel. All right, Ezekiel, Isaiah. All right. Let me get it real quick. Where he said he gonna use Israel to destroy Edom. All right. Grab that real quick. All right. Let me see if I can grab it. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me grab something real quick. I got the Bible dictionary right here. Let me grab this real quick. All right. When the Lord said he gonna lay vengeance upon Edom, let me grab that real quick. By the hand of his people. Ooh, let's grab that. Ezekiel 25, that's what it was. Ezekiel 25. All right, let's grab that. So this is Ezekiel 25, all right, and I start at 12, all right.
start at verse 8. I'll just start at verse 12. I'll get to the point, all right?
This is Ezekiel 24 and 12, all right? Thus saith the Lord God, because that Edom has dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance and has greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Yeah, Edom talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. The Lord said, because Esau, Edom, the white man, has taken vengeance upon Judah, which is the southern tribe, all right, of the nation of Israel, which is you Negroes, all right, the tribe of Judah, the tribe of Benjamin, and the tribe of Judah. The tribe of Judah, the tribe of Benjamin, and the tribe of Levi, man. All right. It says, thus saith the Lord God, because that Edom has dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance and has greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom and will cut off man and beast from it. And I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of the Dan shall fall by the sword. So that's what Edom, that's what the Lord has coming to Edom, man. All right? And the Lord is getting ready to destroy Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. But let's keep reading. All right? And I will lay vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. Woo-hoo. So the Lord is going to use his own people to destroy the Edomites, the so-called white men. All right? Because Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, did not destroy the Negro, Latino, Native American men. So now the Lord is going to use his chosen people, the Israelites, the Negro, Latino, Native American men, to do the same thing what Esau had done to Israel. All right? The Lord said he's going to use us to destroy Edom, man. Did we not just read it in Jeremiah, the first chapter, the 20th verse, that we are the Lord's weapon and his battle axe? And then when you read Isaiah, it says that he has made us a new sharp threshing instrument, having teeth. And with these shall I break in pieces the nations. All right? So let's read that again. All right? Ezekiel 25 and 14. And I will lay vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to my anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord God. That's right. So the Lord is going to use his own people to destroy Esau, man. All right? And the Lord said, they shall know my vengeance, they shall know my anger. All right? Come on, man. All right? So now, let's go back to Jeremiah. Let's read that one more time. Jeremiah 51. All right? Jeremiah 51 and 20. All right? Because the Lord said he going to lay vengeance upon Edom. I'll read it again. I will lay vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. He's going to use us as a weapon to destroy Esau, Edom. All right? By giving us spiritual power. The Lord said he's going to make us a new sharp threshing instrument. Let's read that. Let's read Jeremiah 51 and 20 first. All right? Because that goes hand in hand. All right? It says, Jeremiah 51 and 20, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. And that goes back to what we just read, all right, in Ezekiel 25 and 14. All right, the Lord is going to use us to break in pieces the nations. All right, he's going to use us to destroy kingdoms. And the same thing is written in Isaiah 41. So let's get that again one more time. All right, Jeremiah 41 and 15. Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument, having teeth. Thou shalt thresh the mountains, meaning the other nations, and beat them small. All right, and shall make them the hills as chaff. Yeah, chaff is what's left over after what is destroyed. All right, or after what's burnt up. All right. It says, thou shalt fan them, and the wind shall carry them away, and the whirlwind shall scatter them, and thou shalt rejoice in the Lord.
and shall glory in the Holy One in Israel. Yeah, because these nations are going to be as if they never were, especially Esau, Edom. Because after 1,000 years of slavery, Esau, Edom has to be eradicated from off the face of this earth. All right? Because again, those who lead into captivity shall go into captivity. That's the first verse we started off with. So those who led us into captivity have to go into captivity, right? So after 1,000 years of captivity, all right, Esau, Edom is going to be bounded up and he's going to be burnt on fire. The entire nation of Esau, man, the entire nation of Edom. And there's never going to be an Edomite ever again on this earth. All right. So matter of fact, let's read that. Let's get into that. All right, the book of Obadiah. The whole book of Obadiah concerns the nation of Edom. All right, Obadiah had a vision, all right, about the Edomites. All right, so let's start at verse 1. All right, the book of Obadiah, all right, 1 and 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom. All right, so this is the vision, all right, that Obadiah had concerning Edom. Esau, Edom being the so-called white man, the so-called white race. So this entire book of Obadiah has to do with the nation of Edom. All right. So when you go down, all right, to Obadiah 1 and 18, it says, Obadiah 1 and 18, it says, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, all right, and the house of Joseph a flame, which represents the northern kingdom, all right, and the southern kingdom, all right. It says the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, all right. What do you do with fire and a flame, right? You burn stuff up, right? So it says the house of Jacob and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau, which is the Edomites, the so-called white man, all right, and the house of Esau for stubble. What is stubble? All right, well, what's left over after you burn something? Stubble. All right, that's stubble. All right. It says, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them, meaning we're going to burn the Edomites up, all right, and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. That's the judgment of Esau, Edom, all right, that they're going to be completely eradicated from off the face of this earth, man. All right, there's never going to be an Edomite, a so-called Caucasian on this planet Earth ever again. All right, so let's read that one more time. All right, the book of Obadiah 1 and 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. The house of Jacob and the house of Joseph represents the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, the entire nation of Israel. All right, because after the death of King Solomon, the nation of Israel was split into two kingdoms. You have the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, but together they make up the entire nation of Israel. All right. It says, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them, meaning we're going to burn the Edomites up, all right, and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. There's never going to be an Edomite ever again, ever on this planet Earth, ever again, all right, ever again. All right, for the Lord has spoken it. All right. So matter of fact, when you read the book of Job, all right, the book of Job, the 20th verse, it goes into that, man. All right, so you read Job, the 20th chapter. All right, it's talking about Esau, Edom. All right, it says, I'll start at verse 5. All right. Job 20 and 5, all right, verse 4, all right, it says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Yeah, the triumphing of the wicked is short, man. All right, Esau Edom's rulership, all right, though it may seem like it was a long time, it was really short, man. All right, like the scriptures say, he knows that he has nothing but a short time. Esau Edom, the so-called white man. All right. So it says, verse 20, all right, Job 20:5, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Yeah, because Esau Edom, he's the biggest hypocrite on this earth. All right, he's the greatest hypocrite on this earth, man. All right, the devil, man. All right. So it says, go his excellency now up to the heavens, and his head reached unto the clouds. This is the most proud on this earth. Esau Edom, the so-called white man, he's the proudest person on this earth because he rules this planet Earth. He has everything that makes him not going to come down from the rulership of this planet Earth ever. You know, his head is in the clouds, man. He exalts himself. He walks with a stretched forward neck. All right, with a puffed out chest. All right, what the scriptures say. All right, though his excellency mount up to the heavens and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. All right, yeah, he gonna perish forever, man. All right, like his own dung. All right, the word dung means feces. All right, shit. All right, that's what dung means. The Lord said he gonna perish like his own dung. All right, like his own feces, man. Feces, man. All right, you understand? That's what we just read in the book of Obadiah, the first chapter, the 18th verse. All right. So it says, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? Yeah, because he's going to be eradicated from off the face of the earth forever. It's never going to, once Esau, all right, after that 1,000 years of slavery, he's never going to be seen again. All right, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. All right, they which have seen him shall say, where is he? All right, because he's never going to be seen again. All right, he shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more. All right, neither shall his place any more behold him. Yeah, because there's never going to be an Edomite ever again on this planet Earth, man. All right, Esau Edom, after that 1,000 years of slavery, there's never going to be an Edomite on this planet Earth ever again. All right, you understand? All right, so I'll leave it at that, man. You know, I'll leave it at that. All right, so, you know, with that being said, you know, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. All right, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazah, this lesson was edifying. All right, so I want to say, Call Haloyam Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Nakal Dash. All right, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. All right? So with that being said, until the next one, Shalom.